Welcome in to Fat Beans Roasting Laboratory on a beautiful Wednesday. Well, beautiful subjective, but a Wednesday nonetheless. And we are back on that grind. Filling orders and doing experiments. Before we do anything, though, got to load up a little bit of the Bean Man share. Too hot. A little quick advice for those of you out in TV land. Coffee shouldn't be drank as soon as you brew it. Now, there's a little bit of a temptation because, it is a hot drink. However, it's not wise, because most of the flavors in the coffee aren't going to really start to express themselves until it's cooled down a little bit. When your brain is constantly trying to avoid burning your mouth, and that's the number one thing, it's not going to be able to pick up on any flavors. And in fact, you're not going to even start to really be able to lock into things until it's reached about 165, well, about 185 degrees. Anything above 180 degrees, and you're going to burn your esophagus. So one of the reasons kind of specialty coffee has been such a godsend to me, at least, is that when I first was drinking Keurig coffee, so I was just pounding Keurig coffee all the time, trying to get that caffeine high, trying to say I liked coffee. I was usually trying to I was going through the Keurig, taking the scalding hot drink, dumping it down my throat as quickly as possible. You might be like, Bean Man, why were you doing that? It's because I had this idea that only hot coffee tasted good. And that is not the case. It's only bad coffee can taste remotely digestible hot. It's because the older the bean is, just sitting around, the nasty flavors, those are all going to start to permeate later on. If you've got a good cup of coffee, much like what we attempt to do down here at FBCL, Fat Beans Coffee Lab, coffee only gets better as it goes. So, cheers. What's up, Beanheads and Bry Guy? Not much. Just down here, kicking it on a Wednesday. Last day of school tomorrow, so I'm looking down the barrel of a little bit of an 11-week break, so doesn't suck to be the Bean Man. Which will mean that my content can get a little bit sharper over the next couple of weeks because I'll have this thing called time. And it's going to be a beautiful element. People ask me all the time, they say Bean Man. Well, they don't say Bean Man. They say, Brian, why'd you get to teaching? Summers. So here we are. We have hit pay dirt. So, well, good to have you in, Jill. I'm actually going to be creating some of your bean-related dreams here tonight. So, because I'm down here, and, well, why not? With one quick caveat, I do have my machine kind of programmed to do a test roast. So, if you are following Fat Beans, well, hello, Jeannie, Lynn McDonald 10. My last day of Zoom was today, so you're done. You're zoomed up, and that's the last time you have to Zoom, correct, Jeannie McDonald? It's the last time you ever have to Zoom. May our Zooming days have been gone away. Unless it's a snow day. But anyway, what can I say? Let's go eat some hay. Down by the bay. Well, after that little tirade, zoomed up. Heck yeah. If I never see another snot-nosed kid's face over Zoom again, too soon. Well, let me rephrase that. If I never see a kid's ceiling fan in their bedroom or their cat ever again, too soon. Too soon. But I digress. So, You might say, Bean Man, what are you up to? Well, let me tell you. So if you are an avid follower of the Fat Beans website, and that is simply put fatbeanscoffeelab.com for all of your coffee needs, you'll notice that we generally offer, early on the plan is to offer three things. I want to offer something that goes good light, something that goes good medium, something that will work dark. It's kind of light, medium, dark. It's kind of a subjective term, but in the case of someone says they want to try something light, medium, and dark, I want to always have coffee that kind of meets those there. Do I still get paid when I don't work? Socialism, baby. Of course I still get paid. Of course this socialist working for the public sector gets paid to not do anything on the summers. Baby? No, I do. But anyway, we always want to keep it light. My Ethiopian ran out. That's a good thing. So I went ahead and replaced it with the exact same Ethiopian. Now, this isn't the Ethiopians that are what's called natural. We're not going to get into that, but this is still a washed Ethiopian. It has some light mixed berry taste, almost like a berry tea, a very crisp lemon with just a little subtle hint of an herby taste. It's the exact same coffee that I offered. I just got it from a new supplier. This is from a group called Happy Mug. Well, it's one guy. He sources green beans basically out of his garage. Me and him, I think our vibes really match up. So I'm trying out Happy Mug today. So what we're trying to do is keep the same offering that we have on the website. So you'll see that the Ethiopian is back up. So if you are curious or you want to order some Ethiopian, it is back up there now. I know it was down for a little bit, and those of you are like, I didn't know it was down. Well, then it wasn't down. But like I said, the website is Fat Beans Coffee. Go ahead and check it out if you want to, and if you don't, well, check it out anyway. Because it's legit. Thanks to our good friend Austin Taylor from Austin, Texas. That's convenient. He did a website for us. It says he doesn't do websites for a living. Well, he should, because it looks awesome. So thank you for that, Austin. If you have not checked out the website, check it out. But anyway, how's everyone doing on this Wednesday? Other than Gene, who is it's been set free, and me. We're living that socialist life, but the rest of you, how are you doing? How are things? How are things doing? So Judy too chirping in the background. She wants to get to work, so let's do it. So Jill and Gene, we'll do your guys' Honduras. We'll do each of those separately, just because early on, I don't want to stuff my roaster too full. I'm just getting. Still, I know I say this all the time, but I'm a novice, so all the practice I can get, the better. So I got time, as JMCD pointed out. So we got time. Also, thanks for the subs. That's pretty cool. You guys are subbed up. Thank you for that. I always appreciate all the support. It makes being down here in the basement makes it feel real. So let's see. Ethiopia. Oh no, guys! I don't have my roast set up. I was almost flying blind. I could have flown blind. Then you guys would have not got the forehead shot, and that's what we show up for. Come for the beans, stay for the forehead. Ah, there it is. There's that sweet music. Okay, let's put the roast together. And here we go. So Ethiopian, very small batch size. You can tell when I do the bigger batch size here for Gene and Jill and Jim and all the J's. When I do the J roasting, you'll see that it'll be a lot bigger. But we're just sampling it out. It's new coffee. Although it's not new, it's the same coffee. It's new to me, so I'm going to get myself a little sample guy. How are the music? How the vibe coming off the music? Is the music loud enough? If you don't tell me, I'm going to assume it is. And we're rolling. So, J roasting. Yeah, that's right, Gene. Doing that J roast. Well, technically, this is not a J roast. This is a Bean Man roast, but I can't hear the music. Well, that's no good. As much as my sultry baritone is here to lull you to sleep, there are Sid tunes. There you go. All right. So we are up and running. Nice little turnaround. We're ripping on a new little batch. Old Judy's looking to run. She's ready to run, Dixie Chicks. Make sure she doesn't get too hot in the old seat here. Well, look at that. Weather Manly 46, go Royals. Well, go Royals indeed. But go Houston more. Go Royals, but go Astros. All right, so we are up and running. It's looking pretty good. Good to have you back in, Weather Manly 64. All right, call that yellow point there. Got a lot of Go Royals in here. I don't know how I feel about all that, but I'll get over it. Oh man, you're calling him by Jeannie Lynn said I ain't going to be messing around with these code names. So we're yellowed up. That's good news. We want to, looking to get about 200 degrees. When we have a lower batch size like this, it is kind of got to watch your instruments a little closer. I just want to slow this down. Overall, looks pretty good. They don't cheat. I mean, are you going to sit here in the chat at your home and tell me you don't think the Royals stole signs at any given time? And don't say they didn't steal signs in 2017 because they stunk. But you think that any time during that World Series run they weren't stealing signs, like, that's cool. That's all right. That's okay. It's a lie. In the words of Styx, you're fooling yourself. You don't believe me? That is both a Dixie Chicks and a Styx reference in one bean show, kids. We are off to a hot, hot start. We have referenced the Dixie Chicks and Styx. Dixie Styx. All right, so we should be approaching first crack here pretty soon. Here's some early pops. We miss Alex Gordon. Yeah, the old native son. The old native son, Alex Gordon. All right, so that's first crack. We're making sweet poppin' music there. They just got away with it. I mean, yeah, if it wasn't for Mike Booty Flakes Fires, the Astros would have got away with it too. Fact. But, ooh, that smells good. That's good on the old nostril. But, we got Booty Flakes. What can I say? So right now, I'm just looking to bring this down. Keep walking, slowly walking the heat off. In an effort, get it right to the end of its cracking. So I think we heard about last couple cracks. We'll let it go for 5 or so seconds. 2, 1. Uncle Bro Beans, welcome in. We're going to let this cooling finish, and then I'll give you a little chat up about what's going on. Okay, so Uncle Bro Beans, welcome into the chat. Good to see you. Welcome back, I should say. We are roasting. We just got some new Ethiopian in. So the Ethiopian that I sent you, it should be getting there pretty soon. But the Ethiopian that I roasted for you last week and sent off to you, we ran out of. We just got some new in from a new supplier. So I'm just doing a small little micro batch just to taste it out for myself so the Bean Man can have a little taste test. I'm also doing this incredibly light. I did yours a little bit darker than this because according to this supplier, they say that this coffee really has got some good flavor in the light roast. So I'm going to try that out. Looks good, nice color. Yeah, so this would be a city roast. Just stopped the roast after first crack was done. As soon as first crack was over, we dumped the roast out, and that is a pretty standard city roast. There's that. Lisa MB. The Babas are here, interested to hear how the Peruvian tasted. I'm going to tell you what, the Peruvian tasted pretty good. I was kind of a little bit panicky about the chart, and then I just had to have to remind myself, which anytime you're learning something new or you're trying to become better at something, you have to continue to remind yourself that you're never going to know until you do it. So yes, the charts were all off the hook, but this is the end of the Peruvian. It was delicious, and although I think I'm going to make a couple adjustments to my roast, I don't think I'm going to change it up too much because it tasted fabulous. So, sometimes you just got to trust what you're doing and not get too wrapped up. They're great. Got my dream beans in the mail today. So very nice, Uncle Bro Beans. You'll have to tell us what you think, since you got the full gambit of what we offer. Well, we do offer a Honduras now as well, Uncle Bro Beans. So I will show you that here in a minute. But yeah, that Peruvian ended up being great. A little hint of kind of a chocolate banana taste. It was almost like cookies and cream. So the Peruvian is very nice. I've decided that I'll put it on the website, the Peruvian. I'll drop that on the website tomorrow. So if you are looking to experience the Peruvian, go ahead, and that should be on the website starting tomorrow. And there you go. Ooh, that's gonna be some. It's gonna be some good coffee. I'm excited. That's a nice little light roast. So I will definitely let some of you Kansas City beanheads try this one out. But I mean, that's good. We might take it that light all the time. Okay, so how's it taste? It tastes like a very rich lemon, almost like a lemon lime. So not like so lemony that it makes my face pucker. Almost like a lemon lime taste. Also, when I bit it, it had like this, almost like a honeysuckle, in that there was a sweetness, and it kind of shot up to my nose. So that should be a good one. And this is the same region, same area that we did with the one that I sent to Uncle Bro Beans. So it's all matching up nice. But I'm always a little reluctant to go so light, just because light is a very acquired taste. But I think this one is going to. I'll let anyone try this one light. It's good. So good news, beanheads. We got some good coffee there. All right. As I was, trying to allude, we have some Honduras. This Honduras, it kind of meets, we did it last night, but Jill McDon said that she's coming to town. So Jill McDon will be in the Kansas City area, and said she needs to get her hands on some of these sweet dream beans, as Uncle Bro Beans called them, and wanted to do a little trial run on the Honduras. The Honduras is another medium roast, much like the Costa Rican that we've been doing. It does have a little bit of a more fruity taste than this Costa Rican that I have has. It's still a good medium coffee. Great example of what good medium coffee can taste like. So we'll do that. Bring our machine up. So we're going to roast up that. That's what I'm looking for our second roast next week. All right, yeah. So I will do you some Ethiopian for your second roast. And if any of you beanheads watching, feel free to check out our website, justfatbeanscoffee.com. If you're interested in trying any of what you're seeing here, it is a website that me and the Bean Queen, you might know her as Jay Brogren, we put together. Well, we didn't make it. Austin Taylor did. But it is our website. We are by no means website people, meaning this is our very first one. So check it out. Tell us what you think. tried to match the coffee lab motif as much as we can. If you are an outside of Kansas City beanhead and aren't visiting the Kansas City area, there is a little bit of shipping. I apologize, but haven't found out a way to get around that yet. Yet, I say. We're working on it. Also, for all my loyal beanheads, those of you that subscribe, come down here, hang out with me, keep me company, I'm also kind of playing around with the margins to see if maybe we can start offering free shipping to the subscribed beanheads. So be looking for that news soon. I think maybe if you are a beanhead subscriber, maybe you can get your hands, maybe I'll just go ahead and cover the shipping. It's the least I could do for all the support that all my loyal beanheads have done. So you just go ahead. And I know you're like, man, why is this guy pumping his website at us? Because, you know, it's new. So there that is. Yeah, so JMCD, we will get you the Ethiopian next. It's good. It's good pour over coffee. It's also really good in a drip coffee maker. So Uncle Bro Beans, if you're still with us, let us know what you think about that Ethiopian. Also the Costa Rican and the Guatemalan. So Uncle Bro Beans went the entire gambit. So he's going to hopefully give us a full report on some of our offerings. The Honduras that we're going to do, I brewed the Guatemalan today. So what? Well, tell me about that, Uncle Bro Beans. Well, gotcha. That's what we all want. That's what the beanheads want. So that was a dark roast. I'm not a huge fan of dark roast, but that one's pretty good. It does have a nice sugar balance in it. It would probably be best in, say, a drip coffee maker or an espresso. In fact, when I was at the farmer's market, I sold that one as an espresso. So I'm interested to see what the person I sold it to as an espresso thought about it. Because I do think that would probably be a pretty good espresso. But tell me what you think about the Guatemalan. And this is the most nervous time. This is a nervous time for the beanheads because he could come back and be like, sucked. So here's hoping. Here's hoping that's not the case. But let's hear it, Bro Beans. Give us the magic. While he gets that, we're going to do another roast. So, Jill McDon, you're up to bat at the Bean Show. So here we go. Here we go. Roasting beans, making dreams, not being obscene, because that's not our scene. Okay, so this is the same recipe I did last night. I hit all the milestones I was looking for. So we're going to do it again. Tomorrow is my last chance at the teacher's discount for the cup of fat beans. Well, Belvarte, as long as you come and help us at the old farmer's market every now and then, you get free fat beans all the time. You're in the exclusive bean club, and in that you help us out. All right, so if you're looking at the chart, this is the chart we did yesterday. If you want to see kind of where my mind goes as far as making changes, if you look at around 6 to 7 minutes, that's the only thing I'd change about this roast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the power a little bit earlier than I did last time. And you might say, why are you going to do that? Just got a little bit more jumpy than I wanted. I want to stretch the roast out just a skosh. It's different in the office. It's my sanctuary from students. I know. I can't test any coffee in the office because all coffee in the break room at school tastes good. You could throw hot lava in my mouth and it would taste good. So you bring up a very good point there, Belvarte. All right, so this is very similar roasting circumstances that we were yesterday. The humidity is about the same level. So you're watching it and it's almost mirrored exactly to yesterday. And that's because it's the exact same coffee and we're doing the exact same setup. Which makes it pretty easy for me because I just got to kick back and make sure the thing doesn't start on fire. And that's really the dream of any roaster, is just becoming fire patrol. So it's always creepy to me that you take this organic product, every bean is unique. In this case, these could be coming from maybe 4 or 5 different farms that belong to the co-op. Every bean is 100% its own special snowflake. And here we are. If you look at the roast report, it is just glued to the exact same way that it was last night. So, you got to treat every roast as an individual, and you can't ever lose some of your techniques, testing it, watching it, making sure you're hitting the right milestones. But it's just eerie how similar it sets up. Look at that waveform. I'm pumped. Well, I'm pumped for you because we've been turning out dreams at a high rate lately. And this is probably the first time since I started roasting on old Jutsi that I just feel like I'm at a novice level. I feel like I'm moving up from novice to a little bit past amateur. They're just what I was looking for. Smooth yet bold and a good taste for me. So that sounds like somebody that got their hands on some dreams. So I'm glad you liked that one. That's a very traditional. I view that Guatemalan as a very just traditional cup of coffee. And I'm glad you liked it. It's very bold. It's got a little bit more kick than the Costa Rican does. And I'm glad you were able to check that out. It's not so gone that you can't taste the sugary sweetness. There's a little bit of caramel in there too. So the Guatemalan, if you like bold coffee or kind of coffee for when coffee was men, whatever that means, you can check out the Guatemalan. We got a little bit of that left. I just got some Brazil in today that I'm going to replace the Guatemalan with when it's gone. But I'm going to let the Guatemalan run its course because the Brazilian and the Guatemalan are pretty similar. So thank you for the flavor report there, Uncle Bro Beans. So our creepy roast continues, and in that it's just the exact same roast. We are going to make one slight adjustment here. I'm gonna adjust. Yeah, I'm gonna kick the power down one. I'm gonna try to do something here. Hopefully this doesn't go terribly wrong. I'm gonna go and kick the old power here. What we're trying to make it so it doesn't fall into that deep little trap and pop back out real quick. So we'll see if that fixes it. I don't know. I mean, I try to be as scientific as possible, but we're also kind of just making this up as we go. It's a blend. It's an art-science blend. Cup of coffee. Welcome in, Guy on Fire. Last time I talked to you, you were doing, hopefully doing finals. So my hope is those finals are done. Are your finals done, Guy on Fire? Did you make it? Did you survive? Six more days of hell. Well, anyone can do anything for 6 days. Well, not anything, but close to anything. So you're there. You see it. We're getting there. We're moving forward. We're making progress. Positivity is flowing. Hopefully you've been well caffeinated the entire time. Because that's the dream. You gotta be awake, you might as well be caffeinated. How have I been? I've been real good. My the Bean Man's done teaching high school tomorrow, so come tomorrow at about noon Central Time, I'll be on summer break. So we're trending in a good spot here in the old Bean Lab. And we've been getting some orders on the website. The website's been getting a little activity, but we've been roasting to order down here. So it's been pretty good. Uncle Bro Beans just told us that he received the very first Twitch ordered coffee on the website, and he seemed to enjoy it. So, spreading happiness in Beanland. So it's Wednesday. We're all moving forward. Things are coming to an end. It's good to hear. Making some Honduras coffee right now for Jill McDon, 311. A beanhead just like all of you. She wanted to try something new. She saw that we had a new coffee and she said, I'll take the Honduras. Try something. I'll try something done by women-grown farmers. And I said, let's make those dreams a reality, shall we? She said, I don't know what she said. I'm guessing she said yes. So we're just finishing up. We're going to take this to a nice dark side of medium. It's where I seem to find the best success in this Honduras. First crack's going to end, and we're just going to let it go for about 45 seconds, give or take a couple seconds. We'll pull this out. You'll notice I did make a couple of adjustments, and I'm really starting to like how this Honduras is turning out. It's making me smile. It's making me smile. Whoop. Roach just fell off the cliff. I guess it says I'm done. Get it out of there. That's a good question, Vegetable Beer. I'll answer it here once it stops. Machine stops screaming at me. Sorry about that, beanheads. Oh, no! Gotta stop eating all Jill's beans. Well, and Jay McDon, that's all you. As soon as you come to the City of Fountains, you pick this up. For those of you who don't know, that's Kansas City, City of Fountains. Go figure. Well, technically, we're in Overland Park, just rated the number 4 city to live in America. Whatever the hell that means. It should be drink some water. All right, yeah, I know. I got to go get some water. If Jay Brogan would bring me some water, that'd be really cool of her. Yeah, good thing it is. Well, bring me some water, Jay Brogan, and that way you can come say hi to everybody while we get the roaster warmed back up so we can do JMCD and Jeannie Lynn's order real quick. So, vegetable beer, you asked a really good question about the turnaround time. So, here at Fat Beans Laboratory, we participate in what is called roast to order. So, for example, I'm actually just going to play with this for Gene's roast because I like that roast I did so much. I'm just going to do the exact same thing. What we do is we roast to order, meaning we get the order in and then I will roast it probably within a day. So if you were to roast an order tonight, and if I'm on the Twitch show and you order coffee online, just throw something in the chat so I know to look, and I'll roast it while I'm standing here. So now that it's the summertime, bedtime is a thing of the past. So if you put an order in on the website while I'm in the bean roasting laboratory, I will roast it straight up this night. But you put it in, I'll roast it. I usually will try to ship it within 2 days. So 2 business days. So if you put the order in on a Friday, the most likely you're not going to get it. I'm not going to get it out till Monday or maybe Saturday. It just depends on if we're at the farmer's market or not. From there, so we sent Uncle Bro Bean's order out on Monday. It got to him on today. So it got there on Wednesday. It's taken about 3 days. So to long answer short, about 4 days. So when you're about 4 days out, Vegetable Beard, you let the Bean Man know, and he'll start working on your dreams as soon as possible. Also, if you put an order in the website, you can put a special note into us and say, hey, can you roast this for me on this date? And I will roast that. You know, I can, because I'm cooking to order, I'll just go ahead and set you up on a schedule and just roast it for you whenever you need it. So, but both are completely acceptable.
How'd it go?
The water tastes a lot better than the coffee beans. That's one way to brew coffee. So this is Jill's.
It looks good.
Got this stinker bean in here.
This is the Honduras.
That's the Honduras.
Jill, this has been one of my favorites recently. It's good. It's really good. It's different than what I thought it would be. It's not near as dark flavored as I thought it would be, but still kind of a richness that you don't get with the Ethiopian. So I think you'll like this one.
And that's the Ethiopian.
This is a new one.
It's a light roast. Well, it's the same country. It's the same. It's really the same washing station.
But it's a different.
So none of the flavor notes have changed.
But it's a different. We got a
different provider.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So you never know.
And honestly, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
It's a little chappy still. We gotta blow the chaff out. Yeah. So woo woo, hell yeah! I'm pumped to try it. So, well, I'm pumped for you to try it.
Here, this is very full. I don't want to spill any.
So this is the Ethiopian that we did. Yeah. Bean Man in the chat. So go ahead and put your Bean Mans in the chat if you want to. And that was your Jay Brogren sighting. I think Jay Brogren needs an emote. As much as I like the Judy 1 emote, I don't think it doesn't get much run. So maybe we'll make a Jay Brogren. Maybe we'll make a Bean Queen emote and get that out to you beanheads. Because Judy 1 was a good idea, but I don't think it just doesn't have the emotion, doesn't have the connection that Bean Man 1 does. So there you go. Well, so the last, yeah, I think the last roast of the night, try to keep it to 3 when I have them, is going to be a replay. Now, the nice thing about the replay roast is that I can be a little bit more loose in the chat. So, as we get to the 3rd roast of the night, you know what that means, beanheads. Oh, and there it is. You know what that means, beanheads. It's Fat Beans After Dark. So, log your questions. Here we go. We'll load up Jeans Beans. Ooh, I like the sound of that. We'll load up Jeans Beans. Drop them in as soon as the bean machine howls at me. We'll get going. Fat Beans After Dark. Get set up here. I guess if you need me to eat coffee beans, I'll give you one for free. Jeans Beans going into the Judy Bean Dream Machine. Here we go. Making the dreams come true. So what shows am I watching currently? Well, I've been watching a lot of Dinosaur Ranch. I've been watching some Dinosaur Train. I've been watching... Let's see, what else have I been watching? Obviously, Paw Patrol. Been watching a lot of that, as always. That's a staple. No, but as far as shows go, you know, we watched the Marvel shows. So we watched WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and both those are pretty good. We don't really have a legit show that we've been watching. Oh yeah, Puppy Dog Pals. Can't forget about Bingo and Rolly. What am I, an idiot? But if you have any suggestions, Vegetable Beard, because Julie and I have been we've been kind of itching for a show to watch. So, as Julie is now showing you, we our show selections have been very childish. Okay, so we are on playback mode. What playback mode means is I'm just going to keep everything over here and kind of let Judy do her thing. Yeah, but if you got, I'm dead serious about that. If you got any recommendations, and that goes for all of you beanheads, Snowpiercer. Now, is that Snowpiercer the movie or Snowpiercer the television show, the one with Daveed Diggs? Because one has Chris Evans and one doesn't. So the show. And I think that's on TNT, if I'm not mistaken. We have Hulu. Don't have HBO Max, but we can Hulu it up. We can do the old Hulu hoop. So Snowpiercer, all right. Give that a shot. We'll see what the social divide on a train at the end of the world has to do with everything. We'll snack on that. What else you got? What else you beanheads got for me as far as shows? Now that the Bean Man's going to be hitting summertime, what should the Bean Man be watching on the TV? These are the questions we need to have answered now it's After Darks. After Darks. Oh man, Hulu. If you haven't seen the What We Do in the Shadow, oh, I've seen it. Julie hates it. It's amazing. There's my What We Do in the Shadows review. It could use a little bit more of the original vampires, in my opinion, just because they're hilarious. But yeah, that one's so great. It has like Tilda Swinton and Wesley Snipes. That one was ridiculously good. That whole show is just legit. Should be coming out pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken. There, Veg Beard. Broadchurch. Okay, so tell me about what Broadchurch is all about. I'm in on it. What's Broadchurch? Is it just like, now this is gonna say, is it like church for fat people, or what's going on that show? This episode of Broadchurch, we got double-decker size pews for all of our patrons. Broadchurch. Or I guess, is it like a church only for ladies? I guess, yeah, that's not an adequate term anymore. We don't use that term here in the Bean Roast Lab. We don't use that kind of terminology here, but Broadchurch, all right, check that out. Murder mystery in Ireland. I thought all murders were immediately blamed on the British Crown. If I know anything about history, which I do, that all unsolved mysteries are just the result of King George and his damn taxes. Something like that. It's the name of the town. No, it's not. It's not a church for fat people. That was, bummer. Broadchurch. Church for fat people. That sounds good. Is it Netflix? That is a good question. Is it on something we have? And look at that. No hands. We're ghost roasting, kids. And just creepy how much it holds up. Might be in Scott. It's all the same thing. I mean, it's all islands, rain, weird knots. And I'm not talking about distance with boats or boat speed. Might be in Scotland. I don't know. Interested to hear about that. A legendary Bean Man forehead. The goal is this summer to maybe get a little bit more of a comfortable space where I'm not always kind of cramped in here. I think that will make me a lot more, it'll just be a little bit more of a good experience for me. Watched the first 2 episodes of the Selena series on Netflix last night, and it was incredibly good. I don't know, man. Just something about it just seems like it's the movie. We've watched the run-up to that like 5 or 6 times, and we're like, I've already seen this. How many times an episode did they play Bitty Bitty Bum Bum? That's what I want to know. Now, if they play Bitty Bitty Bum Bum every single episode, I'm locked in. I'm watching it. So if you could feed me that information, that would be very nice of you. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I'm always looking for a surprise. You haven't heard Sorry, Vegetable Beer, but that's a no for me. I'm not playing Bitty Bitty Bum Bum. I'm not watching it. And it does. It looks exactly like the movie. Don't hate on Selena. I think I'm loving on Selena. Especially Bitty Bitty Bum Bum. I've not seen the movie. Well, you don't need to now because you have seen the show. Yeah, that's right. J. McDon 311. Don't hang me on the gallows just yet. Don't hang me out to dry. Look at me roasting. Oh, you got the... Oh, that's always tough. Vegetable beard. I'm sorry that just happened to you. You got the thing that makes me stay up at night when I tell someone I haven't seen a movie. You haven't seen it? You've not seen this film? Yeah, but you should see Selena. It's great. You see J-Lo at her finest. Yeah, it's the one with Jennifer Lopez. Oh, I had to jump in. Did you see that? I was letting everything go. And then the Bean Man had to jump in and change some things. We were doing so good with the no-hand roast. The Look Ma no-hand roast. And then I pushed a button. Well, I think a quick Wikipedia search would spoil the ending there for you, there, Vegetable Beard. I won't spoil it because that's not what we do down here at the Bean Lab. But I think the ending's pretty apparent. And here we go. A nice little roast here. I mean, I know the story. Stream Elements. He, she, it robot is it's on its last leg. I think I'm going to disable that. It was a good thought, but I don't think that's our style here. If anyone new pops in, Beanheads, you go ahead and welcome them with all the welcome and love that you've shown everyone in here, and I think it'll be just fine. Stream Elements robots. Ooh, that smells fantastic. The hunger service, you all have to say is coffee. I'm sold. Well, welcome in the hunger service, and thanks for the follow. We appreciate it. So that's what we do. That's mostly our content here is coffee. We're on our third batch. This is a Honduras coffee that was actually ordered by one of the people in the chat. This is for Jeannie Lynn McDonald. So she ordered some Honduras coffee that she found on the Fat Beans website. That's what we're doing here. Fan gets a little loud, so I'm going to stop talking here for a minute, but I will further explain kind of what we're doing here in a minute. What? Yeah, I do. I honestly have got to get somebody who knows a little bit about sound down here. I really would benefit from someone who just knows a little bit about some sound engineering, and shouldn't be that. It's not that difficult to find. I just, I'm a roaster, home roaster by trade, and a Twitch enthusiast second. So we roast beans. We also brew beans, and we're going to start going to the farmer's market. Well, we've been going to the farmer's market lately. So these are actually orders we've been doing for people on our website. So welcome in. I like to hear the cracks of the beans. Yeah, that's kind of why I don't put the filter in, is because you get some of those first and second cracks when you have the filter off. And really right now with this lav mic that I have, as soon as I put the filter on, all the cracks are the first thing to go. So I'm sure just as we do this more and, we kind of start to find our niche as it is, we'll hopefully be able to find someone who knows a little bit more about sound engineering and can kind of give us some better pointers than just like the light filters I found on a quick YouTube search. So anyway, just to let you, those of you who haven't seen it yet, we did just finish our website. So that's it. Just give you a little bit about us, the Hunger Service, since you're new. And there's Stream Elements Robot again. It's got to go. We are I'm a home roaster in Kansas City. Actually, a suburb in Kansas City. I've been home roasting pretty much through the entire pandemic. About December, we decided I was getting bored just sitting in my basement doing roast after roast. So I started filming myself, and that is what has brought the Fat Beans Coffee Lab had come to life. So really the past couple of months, we've been kind of toying with some ideas and being on here every single night, just talking with people about coffee, kind of trying to do a little bit of education when I can, also answering questions and learning about coffee from some of our viewers. We decided to just jump right in, and we started taking orders. We started out with some bean heads, and really what bean heads are, just people who watch us, started to order the coffee, and we got people watching from Austin, from Massachusetts, from England, really from all over, and we've just started sending it out. Jay Brogren, she said, hey, let's make a website, and we've made a website, go into the local farmers market here in Kansas City, and the rest is history. I think the dream for Twitch is just to come in here and have people hang out with me when they can, while I'm just doing what I love, roasting coffee, and see where it goes from there. But overall, we've really enjoyed the community that we've built, even though you never know what's good or what's sufficient. The bean heads here have been really loyal. We talk a lot of coffee, but we also talk about some other stuff as well. So it's been really cool. So the Hunger Service, since I got you here, what's your favorite brewing method? So what kind of brewing method what's your go-to method? Kind of always are curious about how other coffee drinkers are taking it, because we could sit here and do everything to the most well-tuned in espresso machine, but really a lot of our coffee is just more finding out what people are drinking and saying, hey, this is something we try to run through that machine. This is an Ethiopian light roast we did earlier today. That's from the Yirgacheffe region. And then we did this beautiful Honduras medium roast. And there's just kind of give you a side by side of the two roasts. There you go. So, let's see. When I'm lazy, Vietnamese fin. Now, I've heard really good things about those. I have not tried one personally, but I'm going to have to kind of bite the bullet and probably order one. Same thing with the Flair manual espresso. A good friend of mine is a barista, and he kind of lets us every now and then on the show. We can go in and use the espresso machine there. Full disclosure, I've been mostly a filter kind of person in my education in coffee. So a lot of my roasting has been mostly for filtered, but we're just now getting into espresso, where we're going to start experimenting with some espresso blends. and I play with from time to time, and cold brew most of the time because, yeah, Florida. I hear you. And in fact, at the farmers market, we're going to start working on our cold brew because that's the number one thing we get at a hot farmers market is cold brew, cold brew, cold brew. So probably sometime early next week, we're going to do a show where my friend Kyle Ross is going to come down and we're going to kind of both roast and create a whatever is going to be our cold brew recipe for the farmers market. Fins are typically really cheap. They're like $5 to $20. Yeah, so we'll definitely have to add that to our repertoire. We've done some shows. I typically, first and foremost, I'm an AeroPress person. It's because I'm a teacher by nature. So the AeroPress both gives me speed and it's very forgiving. So if I have a 5-minute passing period, I can race in as long as I have my water hot. Get it in, get a good brew going, and be back in class. Just to be able to deal. We do, now that summer's coming up, and do a lot of V60 pour over. We do Chemex. Been messing around with the Mocha Pot a little bit. So that's primarily what I do, and obviously drip coffee maker because my wife, she likes to have it just good and primed and ready. So a lot of what we're roasting is normally what I can promote to that. But with the espresso access and the cold brew, we're going to start tweaking a couple of our recipes. Cold brew probably won't be too different than what I'm putting out for people with coffee pots, just because we're generally, when we roast something like this Honduras, we're trying to rip into a real sugary taste. So we'll probably stick with that with our cold brew. We may get a little spicy, throw an Ethiopian in there from time to time, but we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, the AeroPress. I mean, I've been using my AeroPress now for like 6 years, and I feel like they owe me like a lot of residuals for the how many of those I've sold. Because I don't think anything else is as forgiving, and you can get a really, really good cup. Now, my one qualm with the AeroPress and why I will go to the V60 is you can't get those high notes, and I am personally an Ethiopian Kenyan coffee person. Not many of the beanheads are, especially down here in Kansas City. This is a milk chocolate forward kind of coffee town, which is not blaming them from anything. That's good traditional coffee. But as a light roast person, every now and then I'll have to get the V60 out really to just make sure the high notes are kind of where they're at. So, well, Hunger Service, it's nice to have you in. It's good. It's always good to get a loyal coffee drinker in. Now, that doesn't mean that all the beanheads aren't loyal coffee drinkers, and really most fun I've kind of had with this show is getting the person who says, I've never had coffee tastes like dirt, and just getting to say, hey, by the way, here's specialty coffee. You've probably had, coffee as someone told you, but here's specialty coffee, and it sounds like you're on the path. So as you join us, we always are doing new roasts. Got a couple things in the bag that we're always working on. We generally like to keep a light offering, a medium offering, and a dark offering at any given time. So right now we do a lot of Ethiopian. That's our light offering because the Yirgacheffe crop was really good. So if the Yirgacheffe is good, you go with the Yirgacheffe. That's a wash that we do there. I got a natural Burundi that I'm going to start kind of working in over the next couple of weeks. I'm really excited about. That's going to be a very light flavor. And then let's see. We do a Costa Rican, which is a sugar bomb. Got this Honduras, which I thought was going to be a sugar bomb, but it's actually got a little berry taste. I got a Brazilian and a Guatemalan. Those are for the dark roast folks. People are like, I need that dark roast in my life. I got Brazilian, I got Guatemalan. That's also probably where I'm going to start tweaking my espresso roast is from one of those two. This Brazilian I got in has what's called like really, really good crema. It's got like that bright orange crema. So when we get into the espresso, I think that's going to be what I base all my brew off of there. And then we got this Honduras, and then we have a Peruvian. And the Peruvian I just did last on Monday's show. Just had some today. It's good. I am really, really becoming a big fan of Peruvian coffee. So if any of you beanheads can find Peruvian coffee, one, it's got this kind of earthy taste, but it's almost like bananas and plantains on top of like chocolate and sugar. 2, Peruvian is like the most forgiving coffee I've ever roasted. You can roast it bad, roast it good. I thought this roast was terrible, and the cup is fantastic. So that really checks all the boxes as the novice home roaster here. As I like to say in all foods, there's utility and there's gourmet. Couldn't say it better myself, and I think you're probably speaking to a lot of beanheads here in the show when you say that, because got a lot of culinary people in the barbecue and the baking, and that's the best thing about getting good at something is you just see how lost you were and just how easy it is to find your way. And once you find your way, you never go back. Most people just drink utility coffee, right? Yeah. Most people are just looking for a vehicle for sugar and milk. And we'll always roast stuff, kind of have milk in there. Like, we'll always say like, hey, we'll make a milk forward drink, no big deal. But sugar is kind of where I draw the line, because sugar is just meant to hide bad coffee. If you got to put sugar in the coffee, you got to put the coffee down. Now, a little bit of sugar every now and then, just to a little kick to your day, isn't the worst thing in the world. And with the Vietnamese style coffees, especially those Robustas, almost like the bitterness, the kind of the tire flavor of Vietnamese coffee with sweetened condensed milk, it's amazing. So sometimes, depending on the coffee you have, a little bit of it'll kind of create a unique flavor, but just pouring sugar on redone coffee is not great. Why are most cold brews darker roasts? Well, it's because cold brew, when you extract it, you're grinding it really bold. And then when you extract it, you're using cold water. It's the hot water that's going to pull the molecules off. So it's going to pull the acetates and all these flavors. Now, hopefully the flavors you pull off are good. So the flavors in the cup are the really, really good coffee's flavors. Now, if it's not, it will pull those in. And that's why the utility coffee, it tastes bad, because it's usually stale, it's usually over roasted, it's usually selected from very low quality coffee. You put hot water on it, all of that falls into your cup. Cold brew, because you're brewing it cold, you don't have enough heat to pull out everything. And really the only thing it can get off the coffee is sugar. So during the roasting process, there is a time when you start to stretch out, when the coffee turns yellow and goes to brown. That's where all of these simple sugars, so the sucrose is being broken down into glucose, and it's being broken down into further sugar molecules. And then as it browns, you're caramelizing those. So when you cold brew those, all of that can fall into the cup because it's just barely hanging on the surface. So dark roasts, generally you've spent more time in that sugar process, because most dark roasts, that's kind of the flavor you're shooting for. You're shooting for sugar, you're shooting for chocolate, you're shooting for caramel or caramel. I don't know, but you're shooting for those. And by doing that, you're creating a lot of sugar flavors. Whereas in Ethiopian, you're taking it really fast. You're not spending a ton of time in that middle zone because you're trying to keep as much of the flowery flavor in it. That doesn't mean people aren't doing flowery cold brews, but when you go to Dunkin' Donuts and you get a cold brew, the reason it tastes good is because you can actually get away with some real bad coffee. Now, that's not to say that good coffee doesn't make better cold brew, but it's kind of why cold brew has exploded. And the utility coffees, as the Hunger Service said, has kind of pointed out, they've really latched on to cold brew because it's almost like a way of using old coffee, ground coffee, subpar coffee, roasting it dark, dropping it cold brew. Here we go. Now, when we do our cold brew, we're obviously going to do it from the specialty way, and we're going to try to offer a lot of unique experience, because that's what we're all about here in Fat Beans Coffee Lab, building a coffee experience. But that's kind of the hidden secret of cold brews. Definitely right about the Vietnamese coffee, yeah. But hey, I mean, Vietnam is the #1 producer of Robusta in the world. So that's the coffee they make. So they built a culture around it. We are very lucky to be in the kind of in the United States, at least. We're right north of the Arabica hot zone, where you get a lot of the Canifores, you get a lot of Typica, you get a lot of good stuff there. So we're just the benefactor of geography when it comes to good Arabica, but the rest of the world, a lot of that's going to be Robusta, and Robusta is it's Robusta. So yeah, this Ethiopian light roast is going to be, as the kids say, I'm not going to, it slaps. Whoops. So science lesson for the day. Yeah, so when Kyle Ross and I start to sit down and make the cold brew recipe, we'll go through all that, but that's kind of the ups and downs of it. Another thing we're going to start doing now that it's summertime and I've got to teach, stay sharp. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to start doing some science experiments 1 day a week. They might not always fall at weird time. They're going to always be coffee science experiments, but I just got a book, and it's like 20 coffee experiments done by like chemical engineers. So because we are all about science here at Fat Beans, we're going to start doing some science experiments and some pretty weird stuff in there, but those of you that geek out a little bit more on the science stuff will do that as well. Did your students teach you that term? Oh, yeah. No, I mean, you hear enough dorky 15-year-olds say something, it gets stuck in your lexicon. You see one more dweeb with some dweeby haircut in some Supreme shirt say the term slap, all of a sudden stuck in your ear like an earwig. So slap, 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 slap. All right, well, speaking of things that slap, this coffee and me. I'm just kidding. But so thank you to Jeannie Lynn McDonald. We'll get you bagged up. We'll get you into one of those beautiful Fat Beans bags that Belvarte made, and I will actually walk that over to you. Oh, by the way, when I get my beans and ask the guy working at the post office if I had a package, he said, yeah, it's coffee. I said, yeah, my nephew roasted it for me. He said, tell him he did a good job roasting because it really smells great. That's it. Put Jay Brogren, put it on the website. That's the testimonial. So, just unexpected dreams. That's great, Uncle Bro Beans. That makes my whole night. All right, so Honduras coffee. If you've never had Honduras coffee, it's a really cool coffee experience. It is a good Central American coffee. It's a little bit lower grown. That brings out a little bit more fruity taste than your typical Costa Rican sugar bombs, but it's darn good coffee in that right. We'll do some. I'm not sure if I'll be on tomorrow. As I was talking to Vegetable Beard earlier, if I get an order, I will always try to drop down here and do the order for you guys on Twitch. It's good for me. It's good. This is like actually great quality assurance, because if I totally beef something, I can just check. Or if I'm a little unsure about when I'm cupping the coffee and saying, that doesn't taste right. Where'd you screw up, Bean Man? Everything I've done is on film. So it's a little bit stressful. It's also a kind of nice way to review your abilities. So you guys are all my personal quality control people, and for that, I thank you. Maybe I can get another Nebraska Beanhead. Hey, I mean, we're spreading. We're like, what's that? We're looking for exponential growth. So, and we've done that. We've exponentially grown 1% at a time. We don't need 10 million beanheads. Just a couple loyal beanheads around the country, and we're rolling, kids. So I may or may not be in tomorrow to roast. That really depends on if I get any orders on the website, as I have roasted a lot. I've got a lot of new green coffee in, so I got a lot of sampling to do. I'm going to probably jump into some of my new bags, the Brazilian, the Burundi, what else do I got? I got all sorts of stuff. So we'll jump into that next week. Kyle Ross should be making an appearance soon, so I know all of you love his flowing red hair and soon-to-be red mustache. We'll get him in, and he's going to help us do some different things we're going to do for the farmers market. Going to farmers markets on Saturdays, it's been really cool, so we're going to try to live stream that if we can. We got to ask the farmers market first if that's allowed. I don't know if you can just start filming So we'll have to ask them. The website is live, so if you want to check that out. Also, if you want to see Jay Brogren, where she likes to add her artistic flair, check us out on Instagram. I mean, if you do Instagram, that's where kind of Jay Brogren is always posting coffee shots and business shots, and just it's her way to kind of talk about our process. So follow us on Instagram, Fat Beans Coffee Lab. Other than that, I think I've taken up enough of your guys' time tonight. So as always, thank you for being here with us. Thank you. All the good questions. I was able to, pontificate, and that's what I love to do. So, thank you guys very much. Here we are Wednesday, so we've already pushed far enough. Let's push a little bit further. Let's stay positive. Again, don't go out. You don't have to smile at everybody you see, but stay positive means pushing forward. If you need help pushing forward, well, there's always medicine out there. Find yourself a local roaster, drop into a local coffee shop, or do it yourself. Turn the local coffee shop into your own. Start with some good beans. Brew it up right. Start your day off great. Speaking of ending your day off great, thank you for being here with me tonight. Always appreciated. Stay caffeinated, and I will see you guys on the other side.